Yeah, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? To those that don't know me, welcome. This is a different video. Something that I'm a little bit not comfortable with. I've never done it, but this is kind of just a promise to myself that I made when I was younger. Just getting into the YouTube game and kind of just utilizing it as a personal journal, personal diary, just being able to kind of showcase my life. I feel like in the stage that I am right now, it's very pinnacle for me to lay that foundation down and just let people in to what I have going on, and kind of document everything. So this is what this video is going to kind of be. It's just kind of a welcome, video, introduction video. I have a couple of questions that I got from Instagram, and I just want to let you in. So yeah, we're gonna get straight into that. So for those that don't know who I am, my name is Garbins. That's Gar Benz, Mercedes Benz, Benz, Garbins. Yeah, Garbins Alexis. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm 21 years old. I'm a videographer. I do everything behind the camera. But I want to kind of transition from just doing behind the camera stuff, photography, videography, and also be in front of the camera too. And that's where this YouTube stuff comes into the play. Just being able to do everything. You know what I'm saying? I can record people and make them look amazing behind the camera, but I can also get in front of the camera and look amazing doing it as well. Major. I am in school. I'm a college student in my last year, but I'm majoring in business marketing. When I first got into college, didn't know what I wanted to major in, like most people, but I knew I wanted to get into business. I knew that was something I always wanted to get into. So I said, let's just try out one portion of it, since business is very broad, and see how we rock with it. And got to marketing, stuck with it, especially doing camera work. It kind of just works. So that's my major. My favorite food. Yeah, I don't know. We got a couple. My palate has increased throughout the years. But a go-to main number one thing is always gonna be buffalo chicken. That's like my thing. I love spices. I love spicy food. I love hot food. Um, Wings just gonna always hit every single time. Anything buffalo, buffalo calzone, pizza, buffalo, whatever, is gonna smack. Besides that, I like spaghetti too, pasta. That's very broad, but spaghetti, if you're black, you know what I'm saying? You can make pasta, spaghetti, on whatever day, and that's gonna last you in the crib for a little minute. So I grew up on that. So those are my two favorite ones. So boom, now we're gonna get into some that were actually asked from specific people, and I'm gonna shout those people out. Cause shout out to y'all. So the first question comes from my boy Tyron T Houston. I'm probably gonna put the question somewhere in this area. Um, he said, "What's your next 6 months goals? 1 year goal, 5 year goal, and 10 year goal?" Um, that's a deep question, but 6 month goal for sure. It's just building a foundation. I'm a college student. I work full time. I do videography. I have a business. I do photography. Like my main thing right now is just building a foundation, getting rid of debt, credit debt. Um, Thank God I'm gonna graduate college without any like student loan debt. But just getting rid of all debt in my life, making sure that I'm stacking bread, saving up money, and I'm building that foundation within my personal brand and my business. So by the time I do graduate in May, people know who I am. People know what I have going on. So bookings is coming left and right. Personal brand is there. When I walk into a room, people kind of know, you know, who Garbs Alexis is. 1 year ago, I'll be what? Cause I'm about to turn 22. We're just gonna round. About to turn 22. So I just say by the time I'm 23, that's like what, a year post school. Honestly, I just want to make sure that I have, my job situated. For those that don't know, I'm into like sports marketing. That's kind of where I want to go into post college. So hopefully, I get something secure within a D1 college, whether that's in Massachusetts or out of state. I have no problem moving out of state. DC, Atlanta, watch out for me. You know what I'm saying? If I get anything out there, I'll definitely be there. But just getting that job situated, and like I said, be debt free. Have all my credit cards paid off, you know, loans paid off, whatever debts in there, have that gone, so that this stacking process, and road to just becoming a millionaire, whatever the case may be, is a lot easier. Um, so yeah, we'll save the 5 year and 10 year goal for later. Shout out to my cousin Janice. Feel me? Probably put the question ahead. She asks, "How close am I with family?" You're my family, so you should know this question. This answer. But me and my family were tight. I think growing up, I have a lot of cousins who you could basically say are like my brothers and sisters. Um, my grandfather had a lot of kids, like 20 kids. He was doing his thing back in the day. 20 kids. I think he had like 35 grandchildren. So I got a lot of cousins, a lot in the States, some in different states, different countries. But my main crew of cousins within the states, we're close. I think my grandfather's death definitely brung us a little bit closer, a lot closer for sure, because he was kind of like the glue to the family. But since he passed, a lot of us just made sure to make sure that we stayed connected. And a lot of us are getting older now too. You know what I'm saying? We spent a lot of time when we were younger, but now that we're older, making that commitment to stay connected and be a part of each other's journeys is important. So yeah, we're like this. Shout out to all my cousins out there. Y'all know who y'all are. My dogs for real. Next question from my dog Dion Stacks said, "What do you use to edit videos?" My main editing software is Adobe Premiere Pro. I know there's DaVinci, there's Final Cut, there's a bunch of different softwares out there. I started off with Premiere Pro, so I'm gonna probably end up with it. I don't know if I'm gonna get into Final Cut. I've thought about it, but I don't know. Premiere is just comfortable for now, and obviously I don't want to stay in a comfortable state because comfortability is where what I'm saying there's no growth. Um, but I don't know. It's simple. I feel like it's really good at color grading. There's a lot of things that I just like about it. So yeah, that's what I use. Why is B-roll important? For those that don't know what B-roll is, B-roll is kind of like, let's say you have an event. It's kind of, small things, recording a door, recording a sign, recording people walking through an entrance. It's kind of just like not necessarily main content, but it's something that kind of allows the video to go through. So it's definitely important because there's definitely dead times in videos, right? If you have an event that you're recording and people that are talking and, fashion show, whatever the case may be, the content is the fashion or the people. But within that video, you want to find ways to kind of keep people guessing. Like, you get somebody's shoes while they're walking by, or a detail on a shirt, or a sign, and it looks nice. All the B-roll, it just makes the video longer. It allows you to add more content. And yeah, so that's something that's important for sure. What camera do I own? From Dion again. I own a Sony A7 IV. I love it. You feel me? This is how you get this crisp quality that you're seeing me on. It definitely was an investment. I invested into it about 2 years ago. I'd say it's one of the best investments I ever made. It allowed me to get multiple different gigs, multiple different opportunities to record. It allowed me to kind of grow my skill set with the camera, amazing quality. And I haven't even tapped into damn near 10-20% of this camera. Like, off rip, basic camera is fire, but there's so many more levels within this camera and just cameras in general that I haven't even tapped into. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. But yeah, I am a Sony head. We don't jack Canon. I'm not jacking Canon. Sony all the way. When I was a kid, I rocked the Sony PlayStation. For me, I didn't switch, didn't falter. So now that I'm older, we still on the Sony vibe. So yeah, shout out to all my Sony heads. Next question. This came from two different people. Came from Dion, but it also came from my boy Ayo. Shout out to you. They said, how did I get into videography? How I got into videography, it always stemmed from when I was younger. I grew up watching a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. I was a Disney Channel head, a BET head, Nickelodeon head. That was my stuff. And I always was those type of people that would like nitpick movies. Like, there's the average person that watched the movie. Yeah, this is cool. This is dope. I'm watching that movie, and I'm like, okay, how was that edited? Oh, that transition is fire. Oh, how he was walking in a crowd and they transitioned it into like him speaking. Like, I was really looking at how the video was created as opposed to just the context of the movie. And I don't know, as I got older, I was kind of thinking of different, business ideas. And my main goal is to become a filmmaker, a movie producer, director, possibly even act within my movies. But think of, Michael B. Jordan. He directs his movies. He's behind the camera, but he's also in front of the camera. That's kind of my biggest goal. So when I was transitioning into a different business in 2021, I was trying to figure out what's a business that I actually like, I'm actually passionate about. Because yes, you can do a business for money, but you're going to succeed a lot further if you're doing something that you actually like and you actually are invested in. And I always love taking pictures. I was that type of dude when I'm taking pictures of my friends on the phone. I'm over here crouched on the floor. I'm doing the most, right? One leg up, camera. Yeah, I was that type of dude. So and especially with COVID, I realized like content is something that everybody's gonna always need. It's a very long term business. Is something that a camera is always gonna have to be around. Everybody's gonna want to capture a moment. So that's kind of how I got into it. I picked up a camera, started off with my phone. Then I didn't even get me a camera after that. I actually had a mentor who let me use his camera for a little bit. Shout out to you, Gio. Appreciate you. And then I ended up investing into my own camera, and that's how I kind of got started with it. So yeah. Next question. I already answered it, but zodiac sign is from Seagal. Shout out to her. I'm a Capricorn. I'm not big into astrology, but I do know that some of the signs, some of the descriptions of the signs, they definitely tailor to the person. Like if you're a Cancer, I know how you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I've dealt with a lot of cancers in my life. If you're a Capricorn, most of the Capricorns I've met have been exactly how Capricorns are described to be. Hardworking, to themselves, very emotional people. Might not show it on the outside, but very emotional. And just to their bag. Like, everything else don't really matter. Like, I'm just trying to get this money and keep it push. So yeah, that's my zodiac sign. Who are my inspirations in film slash photography? Specifically, I love black film. I feel like I said, I told you I watched a lot of BET growing up, a lot of Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? A lot of hood movies, black romance movies. That's my vibe. Now, obviously, there's different. I really love sci-fi as well, like Avatar. That's a fire film. But my inspiration is just showcasing the black experience. I feel like black culture isn't represented all the time. It might not be represented properly all the time. There's a lot of stereotypes that go into black film. When you think of a black film, a lot of times it probably has to deal with gang banging or a kid overcoming struggle, or a kid not necessarily having his father in his life or a specific parent in his life or going through some type of trauma, which is definitely important to showcase and highlight because our world is fucked up, especially for us black people, and that has to be showcased. That has to be broadcasted so people can understand the lifestyle that most people live. But I feel like that doesn't represent us all the way. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of individuals who are black, who are people of color, who have amazing, joyful, happy stories that come from the burbs or that have a rich lifestyle or a rich persona or what I'm saying, are grinding for more, not necessarily based off of trauma, but just because they want more. So I just want to be the type of person that showcases that. So I think this didn't really necessarily answer the question, but that kind of set me up to answer the question. So my biggest inspirations in film are individuals like Denzel Washington, right? Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, Will Smith, you know, those type of actors definitely paved the way when it comes to just black cinema in general. When it comes to photography, there's a couple people from Boston. Shout out to my boy Moronco. If you don't know Moronco Productions, he's a sports photographer. There's another guy, Nick in the Cut. He's not from Boston, but there's a lot of documentaries, sports, videos, and photography. There's another guy, Jake Soriano. Hopefully I said the name right. If I said it wrong, I apologize. Jake Soriano. He was a content creator for the Sacramento Kings. He did sports photography as well. Aaron James, another one, fire. He's from Boston, or at least he, was producing for for the Celtics and for other people in Boston. So for photography, it's a lot of sports people because that's obviously the industry I want to get into. But I just love how they're able to utilize the sports industry and be able to create a story through it as well. So those are just a couple off the top of my head. Next question is from my boy Cherno Huncho. Feel me, my dog. He said, "What is my goal when it comes to GLX's Productions?" So I didn't really speak on GLX's Productions. For those that don't know, GLX's Productions on Instagram, definitely follow that. That's my production page. That's my business page. That's where you can book me for videography, photography. Just kind of see the journey behind just my creations of films and photography. But my goal with that is just to produce. I'm a marketing major. I can help anybody market whatever it is, whatever product it is that they want, whether it's a specific handheld product or it's you're your product or an event. Just being able to market people and allow them to capture their life and make sure that everything looks good and they feel good. That's the goal with it. I obviously want to take it more than just business. I want to definitely grow it into a larger brand where I have photographers, videographers all across the world. I want to also turn it into like a production company so I can produce my own films and produce my own TV shows, television shows. So that's really the main goal of it. Right now, it's just getting the trench work out, getting the name out there, getting the brand out there, building a network, the clientele, and also the skill set. But yeah, GLX's Productions, I mean, it's definitely gonna go up. Boom. Next question from my boy Julian. Shout out to you, bro. Says what drives me. What drives me? I mentioned it, earlier. I am first generation. I was the firstborn out of three. I have a younger sister and a younger brother. And I'm Haitian. I didn't even mention that I'm Haitian this whole video. That's crazy. Shout out to my Zos. You feel me? I'm Haitian, and my parents, they came from Haiti. They came out here. My mother specifically. Well, let me not exclude my father, but my parents in general, they sacrificed a lot for me to get to where I am. Like where I am right now, I've already accomplished a lot more than they have, and that's no knock on them, but just their circumstances. You know, they weren't able to do everything that they wanted to do, especially coming to the states and having kids, and that's kind of stopping their dreams. But what drives me is just the fact that my mother sacrificed so much for me, and I want to be able to allow her to see the fruits of her labor. God willing, I hope that she lives a long time so that she can see her son become who I do become, and I will become, and so she can just kind of reap the benefits. So that's what drives me. I have younger siblings that look up to me. You know what I'm saying? I have a younger sister, I have a younger brother, and if I stop, not necessarily saying they're gonna stop, but hey, their inspiration, a person that they can look up to, it's not gonna be there. So that's what drives me. I wanna just build a legacy for my family. You know, being first generation, my name, my last name, as of right now, doesn't hold a lot of weight. My grandfather didn't really do anything with it. My father, he did the best that he could. But it's really up to me to set that foundation. You know what I'm saying? So that's what drives me. Empire, legacy, growing my last name and making sure that it holds weight within this world, in a positive way. So yeah, it's from my actual cousin Sterling. Shout out to him. Shout out to Motivani, which is his clothing brand. If you're not shopping Motivani, come on now, get hip. But he asked me, what would you tell your younger self if he was watching this now? I would just say, shit, live in the moment, because the moment definitely passes by fast. Like, I'm still young, of course, but me even thinking about about to be 22, it's crazy. Yes, I'm young, I get it, but that's just so deep. Like 22, I'm in my 20s. Like that's just crazy. But also just remain yourself. Stay true to yourself. Don't ever conform yourself to the other person, or people that might be influential at the time or might be cool at the time, because at the end of the day you can never, like, the only person you're fooling is yourself. You know what I'm saying? God knows who you are, everybody around you knows who you are, and definitely you can change your image, and just grow, right? As long as you're growing, that's good, but never ever change who you are on the inside to be appealing to the masses. I never ever want to be somebody who just appeals to the masses. I want to appeal to people who rock with me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I want as much of the mass to fuck with me, but if you don't fuck with me for whatever odd reason, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? So never conform yourself for the majority, for the masses. Stay true to yourself. And yeah. Next question is from my cousin again, Sterling. He said, "Who are my top 3 influencers or brands that I want to shoot with?" Very good question. Very good question. Um, my main goal right now, especially being from Boston and being a Celtics fan, the biggest brand that I want to collaborate with right now, work for, is the Celtics. Call me a fanboy, whatever the case may be. That's my team. I'm sticking with them through it all. You know what I'm saying? And this year specifically, we made some crazy additions. So if and when the Celtics do win the chip, I don't want to jinx us. Best believe you're gonna see me at that parade, going nuts, going crazy. But I would definitely love to work with the Boston Celtics. I grew up watching them. I've been watching them for a very long time. My friends be calling me a GM for the Celtics. I be in there. I be knowing salaries, contracts. I be knowing everybody's attributes, their names, from the bottom of the list to the top of the list. You feel me? So I love them. Forever gonna support them. So I would definitely love to work with them. And I would love to work with this one guy. His name is Praise Asalu. I kind of got introduced to him a couple of months back, and I think his whole mantra and the way that he, markets himself, promotes himself, is a man of God and a man of faith, and his whole personality. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a dope person. So yeah, I don't know why they call him on the phone, fucking up my whole video. But I'll be right back. But yeah, Praise. That's the second person. I'll be right back. Imagine it wasn't recorded this whole time. I would have been sick. And the third person that I want to shoot with, shout out to my guy, 22. Y'all know him as Tariq. I know him as, or everybody should know him as, Michael Rainey Jr. I think he's dope as well. I just love young niggas with motion. You know what I'm saying? Especially young black niggas with motion. I think just there's so many gems that I can get from individuals, especially him being in the acting space, in the film, and television space, movie space. I think that would be a great kind of just collab, being able to work with him, kind of see how he lives his day-to-day lifestyle. So yeah, I'd say those are three people. So those are the most of the questions that I have so far. Hopefully this video isn't too long. Hopefully I gave you guys a little bit more into me, my craft, what I do, what I want to do, my aspirations. And this is like you dipping your toe, into the water, right? Who is Garbins? Who is Garbins Alexis, right? There's a little bit about me. There's definitely a lot more. There's a lot more layers that I hope to be able to share with you guys. But this is kind of just, like I said, the intro, toe in the water, just to get a little bit about me. And I'm definitely excited to build this community, grow the client, not the clientele, grow the personal brand, grow the community, grow the people that are rocking with me, because we're only going up. So I thank you for sitting down, watching this video. Thank ya. And hopefully you stay along the journey. Love ya. God bless ya.